Hey there to all my friends out in the restoration world. Number one, just want you to know I'm parked. I am not driving while talking on the phone here. It's 5 o'clock, Sunday the 16th, and I got to put on my hat for Big Red One Restoration, showing back up from out of town. I've been teaching this week up in Detroit with my friends at Extreme Supplies, talking about water restoration all day, teaching an ICRC course. Had a great time. Had a nice date. Went and saw Dropkick Murphys up in Boston with the wife, and we had a great time. And now I'm back here, and we had hail, and we had high winds, and we had tornadoes, 26 of them come around western Kentucky. To all of the people in Sykeston and Mississippi and all over the southeast that were affected by the tornadoes, I'm so sorry. I pray for your families that you're safe, and for the ones that lost your homes, I hope that you have good faith insurance companies and legitimate restoration contractors, and they work together to get you put back as soon as possible. We had some claims here over the weekend. Wanted to help out. We had a roofing tarpon yesterday, preventing the water from coming in. I just left inspecting a water loss claim at Category 2. Water came from the roof in through the insulation, in through the ceiling, dropped a little bit of the ceiling out. I just want to talk about health and safety and the considerations and the rushing. Most roofing claims may or may not have coverage, whether it's a patch or a full roof replacement. A lot of times it's determination of pre-existing coverage, pre-existing issues. Sometimes they want a roof inspector to come out. The roofers are always going to say it needs a new roof, and the adjusters sometimes are going to say that might be maintenance, that might be straight line winds and covered. It might be roof penetration. It's obvious, if there's a hole in the roof from a tree limb. But you don't want to jump into tearing out things if they're not necessary. In this situation, we have a home that was built in 1960. The insulation appears to be rock wool asbestos insulation. The drywall ceiling, as it was coming down, appeared to be drywall over plaster underneath. And so right now we're stabilizing the environment. We have dehumidification in. We're keeping the humidity below 60%, hopefully closer to 40%. Things are wet, right? The drywall is wet. The laminate flooring system is wet, but the subfloor is not, okay? So what we are doing is we're stabilizing that environment. Okay, we have talked to the homeowner. We've explained to them the situation, and tomorrow we'll talk with their adjuster. We'll give them the photographs. We'll give them the sketch. We'll give them the 360 photos. We'll give them the floor plan and the video walkthrough, and hopefully we can get towards some sort of determination. Like, yes, this is a whole roof. It's covered, replace, or no. The homeowners have to patch it. And we don't want to do any fixing of the flooring and fixing of the patching of the ceiling until we know that it's actually, the source is corrected. Right now there's a tarp on the roof. There's no water coming in, but you don't want to repair it and then find out the homeowner never fixes it, right? So you want to make sure that gets fixed first. There's a lot of encouragement and energy to show up after hours and tear things out and do the demo. I want to remind you that, a home built prior to 1979 is a large red flag, but it's not the only red flag. No matter what the age of the home is, according to OSHA, right, you have to consider sampling, right, if you think there is a potential for a hazard, right? I saw red flags with the potential asbestos insulation. I saw red flags with the plaster, drywall over plaster, and I saw red flags with the age of the home. So we'll have, our good friends come out here from Kelville, Kentucky, do a survey, sample it for asbestos. Hopefully it'll be negative and we'll be good to go. But remember, your job as a restorer is to make things better. It's to mitigate damages. It's to prevent damages from getting worse. Okay, the tarp on the roof is mitigating water from coming in. Okay, the dehumidification is dropping the humidity to prevent microbial growth from occurring in the wall cavities, right? And then not tearing out the ceiling with insulation on it without knowing if it's asbestos or not is mitigating the potential health impacts and air quality issues, right? We have dehumidification and air filtration running. Okay, now this is one of those situations where an insurance carrier may say, Mitch, why do you have air scrubber running? It's clean water. Well, it was clean when it came through the clouds. Then it landed on the roof and went through the insulation. The insulation's been there since the 60s or 70s. It's potentially asbestos, right? It came through the ceiling and everything fell down into the floor, right? There's an open hole in the ceiling, about a square foot hole, right? So the air quality is compromised in that building, and that air is open to the attic now, and that water filtered through all those materials. So it's not clean water anymore. It's Category 2. It's not going to kill you. I'm not saying it's sewage. I'm not saying it's moldy. What I'm saying is this is dirty water, okay? Which means it should be cleaned and there should be, disinfectant or sanitizer or just a detergent used to clean the areas that were wet. It also means that the air quality could be compromised if we blow fans around. And unfortunately, the way that we dehumidify, the dehumidifier's got a fan in it, blowing about 300 cubic feet of air per minute. Okay, so we're using air filtration as well. That's something we're required to do by OSHA. That's something we're required to do by the IICRCS 500 document. But it requires a little bit of education sometimes to the people paying the bill. They obviously think that we're trying to add a bunch of equipment that's unnecessary. The good thing is I'll be able to explain, look, there's no air movers there, right? It's a small bathroom. There's no air movers in there. The dehumidifier and the air scrubber both generate a little bit of airflow. We're trying to reduce the airflow, control the humidity, wait until we get things approved, right? We know the drywall is going to have to be patched. We know that the laminate floor is going to need to be replaced. What we're trying to do is make sure things don't get worse while we're waiting on your representative to get on site, okay? So I'll take that hat off and I'll put on my Restoration OS hat, okay? And what I'll tell you is the amazing thing is we had the sketch drawn instantly with our LiDAR and the floor plan with our iPhone. We already have all the photo documentation. We already have all the video documentation. And we already have generated our 360, okay, floor plan. Now the great thing is, okay, for a long time people have been using things like Matterport and DocuSketch, and we realize how important that is. And then now you can do the 360 in our app just as well. Okay, without having to navigate out to another app, okay? We used Matterport forever. We tested out DocuSketch as well, used it. Both of those are great technologies. I have nothing negative to say about either one of those. Just the fact that our technicians get confused if they have to log out of one app and log into another app and wanted to have everything in one system. And that's what we have now. It's all in one system. So we've got a 360 scan with a virtual walkthrough. We've got our floor plan. We've got our photos and notes. We've got our clock in and clock outs. We already have the invoice put together in our system. And we have an ESX file for Xactimate instantly, okay? Didn't cost a ton of extra money, didn't take hours to process. If you can design a system that makes it easy to get things done, okay, here we are, 5:07, okay? Just left the loss, about a 2-hour response of, on-site inspection, measuring, setting up, talking to the homeowner, all those discussions, right? Talking about the repairs, etc. Everything's done now. Okay, there's no rushing to get this invoiced out. Tomorrow, the emergency services and the repair estimate will be on the desk of the adjuster, and we'll be able to look at the 360 virtual walkthrough, look at the floor plan, talk them through, show them a video, and hopefully settle it before they even get on site. And this may sound crazy to you and sound like a lot of extra work. Well, Mitch, we're not supposed to be adjusters, we're supposed to be restorers. Well, guess what? The adjusters are busy. Just like you don't have enough technicians to get out on the site, just like your technicians need to get more training and come through IICRC courses and know how to properly inspect the loss, just like you might not have enough good moisture meters, to get to every job, or good DUs to get to every job, right? You might have, who knows, maybe you have more equipment than you have people. The insurance industry is feeling the same squeeze, okay? The insurance industry doesn't have enough adjusters, just like the restoration companies don't have enough technicians, just like the people working in the factories don't have enough factory workers, and the truck drivers don't have enough truck drivers. There is a great retirement, and there is a great amount of people that for whatever reason are not in the workforce. So just remember, if you can provide those assets, those digital assets, those videos, those photos, those 360 walkthroughs, if you can get that estimate for the repairs and that invoice for your emergency services and mitigation, if you can get that to them in a timely manner, if you beat them to the job site with all your documentation, your photos, your floor plan, your 360, your invoice for mitigation, and your repair for the estimate and the software that they use, why wouldn't they want to approve it, right? Maybe they say, yes, it's sent out, ACV, send a supplement for the difference. Maybe they say, no, we want to make everyone wait and we'll be out there in 2 weeks. Maybe they do, right? But at least you're not the reason for the delay. And what I'm telling you is, everyone can say all these bad things about insurance companies and adjusters and everything. When you can get on the phone with a real person, not a third-party supervisor, not a AI, not a call center, but when you really get in touch with a person handling the claim, a file owner or a field adjuster or desk adjuster, they usually say, thank you, this is great, we deal with so many people who don't do this, I really appreciate it, okay? So there it is. I'll take off my Restoration OS hat, I'll put back on the big red one, and I'll say, another weekend out there 24/7, okay? Appreciate you guys in the restoration industry. Take care of those people from the tornadoes this weekend, okay? For Restoration OS, I'll say, don't forget, Documentation is key. 360, moisture mapping, contract signatures, photos, videos, LiDAR-enabled floor plans. If you can get all those done instantly in the same app, why wouldn't you do that? Give us a call. Lee Patterson, look him up on LinkedIn. Reach out to us, Restoration OS, restoration-os.com. Request a demo. All right, have a great one.